You also have stem-changing verbs on your list of things to know. Stem-changing verbs, you have 3 different types of changes. A to A umlaut, E to I, and E to IE. These are only irregular in the do and RZS forms. Everything else is normal. So, for instance, the verb fahren. Ich fahre. Skip down to the wir form. Wir fahren. Ihr fahrt. Giggle, giggle. Sie fahren. These 4 forms are regular. The only 2 forms that are irregular are here and here. Du fährst and RZS fährt. Those 2 take an umlaut, as would be indicated by the fact that they are in the category of A to A umlaut. Now that's a very nice little shocked face. Yes? There are verbs that don't take an umlaut in the do and RZS form, and there are verbs that do. The ones that are stem-changing verbs, there are only 2 in your textbook. Gefallen and fahren. Those are the only 2 in your textbook. Gefallen, the only 2 forms you're ever going to use is the RZS form and the Z plural form, because the object is the subject. It's kind of backwards thinking in English. So things like, I like the shirt. The shirt is the subject in German. The shirt is pleasing to me. So you would say, das Shirt gefällt mir. And it takes the umlaut in that form. But if you had like, the shoes are pleasing to me, that would be die Schuhe gefallen mir, and that's not irregular. Those are the only 2 forms you're ever going to see of that. And then fahren, you will actually see all of the forms, depending on how it's used. Yes, sir?
Is there a pattern to when verbs change step?
A pattern?
Yeah. Or is it just all willy-nilly?
Well, if there's an A and it takes a stem change, it has to go from A to A umlaut. That's sort of a pattern. But if it's an E, Y? No. Y doesn't work in grammar. Y is generally a question that can't be done.
It just does change?
Yes.
It just changes?
Mm-hmm. It just does. For the same reason that people are like, well, why does gravity? Well, it gravitates because gravity. There isn't a good reason. It's just because German. Yeah, because the Higgs boson. Thank you. Okay, great. Now, there are several verbs that take an E to an IE, or an E to an I change. Again, those are going to be regular in the ich and wir's, well, ich in all of the plural forms. So things like gebe, geben, gebt, geben. Those 4 forms are, again, regular. The only ones that matter would be the RZS and do forms. Du gibst and RZS gibt. There are several verbs in your textbook that do this. We have geben and sprechen and essen. Those are the 3 that are in your textbook, is geben, essen, and sprechen. Here on this category we also had gefallen. Now, the ones that change from an E to an IE, you would have things like sehen, ich sehe, but du siehst, RZS sieht, wir sehen, ihr seht, sie sehen, sie sehen. And there's only sehen and there's one other verb, lesen, that's the one. Those are the only ones that are in your textbook, sehen and lesen. These are your irregular verbs, and again, if you're using a modal auxiliary with one of these, the infinitive form is the one that goes at the end of the sentence, which is the one that would be the Z or the wir form in these conjugation charts here.